Hey there, welcome to CNT Collectibles IMC. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to your weekly sports car chart blast where we look at the price action of our favorite collectibles. Price is truth and all that kind of good stuff. If you like this content, then please like, subscribe, all that noise, and let's get it started off with Mike Trout in a PSA 10. This is the 2011 Topps update. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Anyways, the trend is slightly down, so we're trying to put in a little bit of a basing pattern here, but we are making some lower lows. So you can see that there's a ton of buying in here, so it's a gradual decline. I don't expect anything wicked like this. That's just a reflection of what goes up must come down type deal. But we're just grinding slowly here towards the bottom of the range. $2,600 seems like people are picking it up a few times here. So one of these days maybe it breaks out, but we're in the off season, so until we can get some momentum going up in the towards good news of him coming back in spring training or something, maybe you don't see this thing rocket up or anything like that. But people are willing to step in and buy it in this area here in the $2,600 area and give it a little bit of lift, so it's a little bit higher than that. But again, gradual move downwards. We'll look at his Topps Heritage of the 2012. Didn't have a 2011, and this is also in a pretty decent downtrend as well here. So broken uptrend becomes a downtrend, and so there's buying stepping in. It's pretty volatile here, but a couple of purchases here, so you could get a pop to the top of the range. But until you break out and get a few purchases there, the prices are going to continue to decline. So you would think that, hey, this looks like a pretty good spot. A lot of buying, and no, it's not. It's not. It just continues to grind lower. So the patient person may just wait for this to break out and hold just a little bit. Is kind of how that goes here. Bryce Harper, 2012 Topps, front leg up. Consolidating here, so trying to figure out what it wants to do next. We had our breakdown and recommended, all right, sell them and buy them back in the $90 area, and we've kind of had that. Now you're compressing, and so I think the next move, I don't know, who cares what I think? So probabilities would say next move is up here. So if you're looking for this card, maybe a decent spot for it as the postseason awards come out, and if he runs away with a NL MVP, then you could see a move to the top of that range. Breakout be very positive if you can hold it. But as of now, we're just consolidating, trying to figure out the next move here. This is the Topps update, the Bryce Harper. This is the update version here, and we had a little fake break down below here. So we like to, kind of traveling along this this little slight uptrend. So the breakout downtrend, then you had a breakout, and so this is what you want to see on these things when you have a downtrend. You see a few sales outside of that zone here, and hold it, and this one is, and so he's traveling, kind of sideways, just grinding along sideways here. It's the off season. How much attention is he going to get or anything like that? And so you had a little freight breakdown here. When that happens, you do tend to take a swing to the top of the range here. So a lot of interest in this card here, and coinciding with a postseason announcement, you could see a nice pop out of this one. So if you're looking for this card, seems like a decent enough spot to do it at that $170 area. Vlad, Topps Chrome 2019, compressing here, so not sure where it wants to go next. It's holding on to its support here, but it's getting rejected very quickly at resistance on these low volume moves here. So again, decent enough spot to buy, but if it breaks down, then we're going to continue on this downtrend here. So not downtrend until it is, but as long as it's holding in here, then that's all right. This would be very bullish. But if it breaks down and sustains itself down in here, then this downtrend is the path that it is going to take. The Topps update Chrome, so you can see it broke its uptrend here, and so we are in a pretty decent downtrend. A couple of wild moves in here, but that's how it goes. It's a very volatile name here. So sitting around $100 here, and it's towards the top of its range. So maybe if you're patient, you get it at a little bit better price. Shohei Ohtani, his update 2018. We had a compression and a price target of around $280, made its way up to $300, and then it broke its uptrend, and now it is in a pretty pronounced downtrend as well. So again, until this thing breaks out, which who knows, that could be December, November, spring training, whatever. So but it is continuing to travel south here. So there's a lot of buying in here, and there's a lot of action in this one as well. So people are okay buying it on the way down here. So this seems like a pretty decent spot, closer to that $100 level, and it's sitting at about $140, so maybe just above that. But it's in a downtrend until it is, and we could take another look at that one. Same card, just a different little look here, just to kind of show you my thought process on this one here. So you had your compression, and the measured move again was at that 280 level here, and so we could, even if we had a slightly gentler trend, it's still broken that as well. You had your retest, and either way you want to slice it, the trend on Ohtani is down until it isn't, and again, kind of favor this area here, just above $100, so maybe not over yet. This is the Bowman Chrome. And again, uptrend here, and it's broken that, and it's traveling slightly down here. Lots of volume on this one here, but if once you start to get in this area, there's not a lot of market memory. Okay, markets have memory, and there's not a lot of people that remember paying these prices for this card here. So, I kind of get the feeling it's going to slip and maybe come down into this area, maybe a sub $500 card, and sitting at $775 right now, not an insignificant move by any stretch here. Juan Soto tops update, and we've got a compression here, and it's sitting at the bottom of the range. We've seen these spikes before, so leave them alone. 125, 130-ish, whatever. That's more your price. So it's sitting at about 135 right now. That's more your price. Momentum is picking up just a little bit here. So even though the card's sitting around these down the area that it's been at the past few times around the lows here, the momentum is actually picking up. We call that a positive divergence, and so it's still on a sell signal here, but it is flattening out. And that positive divergence, I think you could see a nice pop out of that card as people start to say, maybe it's a little too cheap. So we'll see what happens. This is your risk reward. Your reward is favorable here, but if it breaks down, then I'll change my mind, and you can change your mind too. Juan Soto Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor. This was not a numbered card by any stretch here, but those are pretty beautiful cards, and you can see it. Not a ton of them out there, but this one is ripping, and there's only been one sale really that's been higher. So there's been a couple in this similar area around $600 where this one is at now. But if it starts to go up, then you could start to see some chasing as people look for those more limited variations of certain cards here. Tatis tops Chrome. This is the Refractor. And again, the trend is down on this one here. So we are seeing a bounce off of the lower support zone here. So you could see some more upside. These have been picked up pretty quickly in the past here. And this may be the same thing where you start to see a lot. It doesn't have to rocket to the top, but you could see some more buying in this area. But Tatis, the Refractor, is down, but your risk reward is at least favorable for a pop in the near term. The Chrome update in a PSA 10 bottom of the range, also getting a little bit of a lift off of that support zone here. So it looks favorable in the near term, but again, the overall trend is still down on those Tatis cards, as it is on most baseball cards right now. So Bo Bichette Pink Refractor, bottom of the range, getting a little bit of a lift, but it's still making lower lows here. So the trend is still down on this one here, but if you do feel like buying it, then be prepared for some perhaps lower prices here. But there could be some upside. But again, until it breaks above this and holds it, then the trend does remain down. So buying in any of these spots, the risk reward is always favorable. But the price still makes lower lows, so it's tough to get super excited or anything like that. I'm a buyer actually, but no, I'm not. I pulled pink ones out of the pack, so I'm not a buyer of this particular card. But I'm buying Bo Bichette. I think over the longer term, it'll be a decent investment. But as it stands right now, the trend on that Refractor is down. And if you look at his all of his cards, they've all gotten hammered pretty good. The Prism's actually held up pretty well, but there hasn't been since April of this year. His Prism, his Pink, and his base Chrome have all been hammered pretty roundly. So Bo Bichette has not been a great place to be as of this season, which is weird because he had a really good season. So, but not good enough to catch the attention of investors over time. Cody Bellinger, looked at him last week, I think it was, on Thursday. I think I put one of these out. Anyways, bottom of the range. And said, he's looking good in the playoffs here, and he may be exiting the playoffs. We've got a elimination game here tonight. This is being recorded on Thursday, and I put these charts together during the day. And so bottom of the range, he is getting some lift off this one here, and there's been enough buying, and so kind of the middle of the range here. But if the Dodgers aren't able to hang on, then he's going to lose his relevance for the time being. And this $100 area is kind of your line in the sand, and you're getting close to that one, and so you could see this fall off just a bit further as people just take a step back and see how if he's able to return to health next year. Rafi Devers in the Chrome, and so your bottom is kind of $60, and your upper boundary is about $100, and you're sitting in the middle here. So liked it at the 60 right now. Probably not a lot to do, and so if Boston is able to pull it out and make its way to the World Series, his relevance is going to be high, and you could see this thing spike up. Probably used more for selling. So I don't know if you're short term, maybe you want to buy it, but as soon as the series is done, then you maybe see these $60 prices again. So now if he is able to bust out of this range and you get some sales here, it could be a $140 card. So again, if you like Rafi and you don't have something like this, it seems like an okay spot. Your risk reward is not favorable or unfavorable or anything like that. It's just middle of the road, and it depends on what you're in it for. Ozzy Albies top Chrome. Topps Chrome. They had him at the bottom of the range last week, and he's getting a pop here as well. World Series not going to hurt his card prices. So this is one of my favorite players to collect. Freddie Freeman also making his way to the World Series, perhaps if they can pull this one out here. And so I had him at the bottom of the range last week, and he's got a lift. Now that's just one. It looks like maybe just one sale or anything like that. But if he comes back a little bit here, there's absolute interest in this area. So kind of in the middle of the range, and again on one sale. It does bring it into an area where there has been buying, so it doesn't have to necessarily collapse down or anything like that. But if it comes back a little bit, it seems like that might be the way to go on that one. Freddie Freeman, if you look at his base card versus some of his other refractors, his Diamond Anniversary and his Cognac, those have been doing great. Those have been ripping the base card off quite a bit for the year. So again, when you're looking at these things, especially if you're looking over the long term, if you can find something a little bit more limited, then you might be better off here. So the base cards now in 2011, these weren't printed like they have been the past couple of years or anything like that, but even more limited, I think, is what people are looking for. Acuna Topps Chrome. This is the X-Fractor. A lot of buying in here, a lot of buying in here. So we'll see what happens. So this was kind of in an uptrend. This one's more of a downtrend. So we'll see if that's a breakdown, which could bring out a lot more selling and really knock these prices down. But I think you'll have a lot of hype for him over the off season here, and so we'll see how that kind of plays out. But last time we had a lot of buying, it did lead to a lift off as that demand overwhelmed the limited supply of this card here. So we'll see how that goes. We'll just have to monitor this one. It's just sideways for now, so we'll see which way the market wants to take it. So for now, the trend is down, but with this accumulation, if that persists and supply dries up, then you will have some higher prices on that one. Tom Brady. We're into football now. Topps Chrome. PSA 10, and so we've looked at this one. We had the breakout and our retracements and all that kind of good stuff. So looking for that $21,000 area. So here you are. So longer term trend, it is held where it's supposed to, which is a very good sign here. So it is traveling up. So if you're looking for that card, this is probably this was a better spot. This was the best spot. But for now, probably nothing you can do except for get on board, I suppose, until either breaks down and get rid of it, or I'm not sure it's going to go to a $100,000 card or anything like that, but it seems like could make its way back up towards the recent highs at some point here. Justin Herbert, this is the Fireburst, the 2020 Phoenix. I think these cards are pretty sharp looking here. So you had a consolidation. It is breaking out with a couple of sales, which is a good sign here. Now in the past, we've had a run towards this upper boundary here, and it was just on one or two sales here. So I'm not sure if you get that again, or if you do, it's just going to be really, really limited. So I don't know if you'll have an opportunity to sell because there's very limited buying here, but this is a pretty good buy zone, and now it is breaking out and setting up a new zone here. So if it comes back in, if this is a fake break, then you're getting another chance down here for the most part. But he's looking good here. So the trend on that one is up, and that breakout is healthy. If some sustained buying could bring it back up to its previous highs here. So Dak Prescott in the Prism Silver PSA 10. We're just gonna go over some players that had a good week last week. So top of the range coming off just a little bit here. So a lot of accumulation at the bottom of the range, and we looked at it before. We like that area here. A lot of accumulation here. Not a whole lot here. One person or two people. So it's coming back off, and I expect it to come back into this I don't know, whatever that number is. This looks like $700-800 or something like that. So it'll probably come down to a few nickels here, and I think maybe you get some support in here as long as he continues to play well. Josh Allen, bottom of the range here. So compression, and the market's trying to figure out which way this one wants to go here. So bottom of the range, been a lot of buying here, and you're at it again. So if he's able to have a couple of good weeks here, could prove to be a good purchase here. The Donruss Optic, or the Optic Base, a little more volatile if that's what you're looking for here. Top of the range coming off just a little bit. There's been accumulation in here, so that's where we're at again. Anything that brings it down here is likely to be a quick move, so you may not be able to catch it, but this seems like a decent enough spot here. So all right, Derek Carr, 2014 Topps Chrome. Had him at the top of the range and said, here's your sell. I think we just missed it right in here, and so it did fall down to the bottom part. So the trend is slightly down here, and it's getting really choppy, really volatile in this area here. So it's giving you another chance to pick up this card here. So Vegas Dave, if you're watching right now, this seems like a decent enough spot to buy. Derek Carr come back down a little bit here, but it's getting beat around pretty good on very low volume. So it's difficult to say which way it's going to go next here, but there's maybe a little bit more upside than downside at this point here. So Derrick Henry, PS PSA 10 Prism Silver. Seeing a little bit more buying in here than we have seen in the past, but this has acted as resistance in back in here and here again. So we'll see what happens if this thing gets knocked down, or if we get some buying to lift it back up a little bit here. But it looks like it's again, what he's doing is pretty incredible. So especially last week here. So we'll see if we can't get a few more buys up here. But if it starts to make its way up to that $800 area or whatever, that's where people have sold in the past at the very top. So if it does get a pop, it's maybe more for selling, I think, at this point. Alvin Cook continues to grind lower. He had his consolidation, kind of his sideways trend, and he has broken that and continues to go down. So he's going to keep getting cheaper. And he had a good week last week, but he's out for a couple of weeks here. So I think he's going to have to string together a few more good ones here. But yeah, again, that trend is down. Although it looks like this is a pretty good area to take a shot on him, but it's volatile, so I can't promise one way or another what's going to happen here. Alvin Kamara, bottom of the range, getting some lift off here. More buying in this area here. This was a very quick move respecting the bottom of the range here, but in an area where it's like, okay, probably fair, and if Norman's able to put something together, he'll be a big part of that one. CD Lamb, looking at some of his cards here, not a lot of action except for the raw one, and look at the 9s and the 10s. The 10s have actually been, or excuse me, the 9s have been an outperformer here, so the 9s doing pretty well. 9s are fine. Cooper Kupp. Preseason, right after the first week, had him in this range, said, all right, yeah, absolutely, take a shot on him, and up in here, take your profits if that's what you're in for. So fake break here is going to bring you down to the bottom of the range, and it did, but there's a lot more accumulation here. So if you're looking for Cooper Kupp, he continues to put up some impressive numbers. Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, the PSA 10 is the outperformer, while the 9 is continuing to get hit. I'm very, very low volume. See how that plays out. If you can get healthy and get back on the field, that would be a big help to one of my fantasy teams. Alvin Kamara, I think we did this one already. So here he is again. All right, fine, ripping. Fake break should break it to the top of the range. Decent enough spot to buy for the most part. I think I was looking at it a couple ways, and he made it in here again. So good editing here. DK Metcalf. Rejected again at resistance and coming back down into an area where perhaps there's some buying. Seems like a pretty good support at about $80 here. So see how that plays out. Maybe a decent enough spot, but was this a decent enough spot? Was this a decent enough spot? Get down to $80. I think that's really, really good. Right now it's kind of in the middle of the range, and it's just, again, low volume, getting beat around just a little bit here. All right, we've got basketball, and take a look at a few players that have gotten off to a nice start here, and one of them is Jaylen Brown. And so he's at the kind of the broken downtrend, and now you've got a slight uptrend, ripping off the bottom here, and it was a couple of targets, and if he continues to do what he did the first game or two of the season, could start to see some pretty decent prices in this $300 area. So $240, that's not out of the range of possibilities or anything like that. So nice little bottoming pattern here, and you've got your risk rewards set up, and looks favorable. If you could come back a little bit to that $200 area or something like that, and if it does, if I was interested in that card, I'd be a buyer. All right, Optic, Hollow, Ja Morant, uptrend, sell it on the retest downtrend, and then breakout, and then buy it on the retest, and now you're in an uptrend here. So we'll see what happens, putting some new highs here, so grinding his way back up, which is a good sign. And so this could be currently $900. So saying it's a $1,000 card isn't really going out on any sort of a limb there. Harrison Barnes getting off to a decent start. Not a lot, a couple of buys in this area here. So who knows what to do? I think I meant to take him out and put something else in that was more interesting, but I just remember the name from North Carolina. It's like, oh yeah, he was a big deal back in the day. So here you go. Seems like the price. And his longer term prospects, I don't know, but he got off to a good start this week. So CJ McCollum, you have the longer term look at this one here, and we've got a bounce off of support and a number of buys, and then a quick hit down here, and here you are again. So it seems like risk reward is pretty favorable for Mr. McCollum in the PSA 10. Luca, this is the Donruss base, not the hollow or anything like that. So a lot of consolidation, figuring out what to do here. So the general trend you can see is still down if you ignore these spikes, and so one of these days we'll figure out, is he going to drop down and become kind of of in this area or even lower, or is he going to break out and become one of the next big-time players in the league here? He's got the talent for it. So Anthony Davis, longer-term trend is up. We've got this consolidation zone, so it looks like a potential bottom in this card as well. So there's the bottom right there. You kind of use that as your line in the sand. But for now, it's kind of holding onto the range. So if you missed this, you're getting another opportunity right in here in this longer-term uptrend. A few hockey to finish this up. Untitled, no relation to helicopter or anything like that. Uptrend is intact, sitting near the bottom of the range, but it's near the all-time high. So we'd like to see some new highs to keep that going. Connor McDavid grinding out sideways action here after breaking his uptrend here. So range was kind of $3,000 to $4,000. You're towards the lower end of that one here. So we'll see if we can get a little bit of a lift. I think there's a little bit of a pullback here, but keeps doing what he's doing. You could see some higher prices as hockey's holding in relatively well. Steven Stamkos broke an uptrend and couldn't even hold this. So he's whatever this is, upper line of resistance. Bouncing along it up here and couldn't hold that, so I get the feeling there will be some lower prices in store for this one, sub $300, and sitting at $375 right now. So at a minimum, don't buy it. So I don't know if it's too late to sell or anything like that, but at a minimum, don't buy. And if you get you lower opportunity if you're looking for this card, I think you'll get a better shot at it. And Tyler Bertuzzi ripping out of his range, putting in some new highs here. So you had your consolidation, super light volume. I mean, it's tough to say what's going to happen with these things with any sort of conviction here. So he ripped out of the range. This is on one sale, and if it came back into this $80, $90 area, which would be cut in half or whatever, that sure wouldn't surprise me. And Brady Tkachuk near his highs as well here. So you had your consolidation. It's ripping out to the upside, which is a good thing. So if it retests or whatever and holds it, that is a good sign. So consider sitting at 250 right now. If he becomes one of the better players in the league, then yeah, $500-600 or something like that is kind of what you're looking for. So we'll look at 300 down to 200. Yeah, so there's a couple $100 move to the upside in this card here if he's able to keep it going and hold this breakout here. So all right, Lewis Hamilton, Topps Chrome F1 PSA 10. This is the refractor version. The PSA 9 sitting at like $900, so the 3-to-1 ratio. One of two things are going to happen: the 10's going to get hammered, or the 9's going to rip. And it's very lightly traded here, coming down to the bottom of this weak range here. So if it cannot hold this area, then you are coming down sub 3,000 to kind of match up with that $900 PSA 9. And lastly, we've got Mewtwo, and he continues to grind lower, but at the bottom of the range here. So if you're looking at this card, risk reward sits up favorably, but you realize that the prices continue to make new lows recently, and so this may not be the end of it by any stretch here. So this was a good buy as long as you sold up here. So here you are again. Maybe you can get a repeat on that. So that's what I got for you. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you later. Bye.